We continue learning Hachzeh, Mesilas Yesharim daily together. We're holding up page 193 in the Artscroll Mesilas Yesharim, continuing the 11th chapter of Nikiyas. And we're learning Daf Yomi. We saw an incredible connection over here. How we saw in yesterday's daf, the connection that the Gemara taught us that if you just look at a woman, it could bring one to a terrible erva, which is what we saw in Mesilas Yesharim yesterday. So we pick it up on page 193, says the Ramchal on the bottom. Furthermore, with regarding to zunos, immorality with the peh, with the mouth, the eyes, and the ears, someone who talks about zunos, if someone hears these things, the Chachamim screamed. And what do they say? You should not have erva inside of you. Ervas a dibur, that means an erva, immorality in speech. Zenivul peh, that refers to lewd speech. V'amru, b'avonavlos peh, what is talking not nicely lead to? Sarais mischadshos, new troubles arise. B'achoris haneim shel Yisrael meisim, and the young men, the enemies literally of Klal Yisrael, euphemistically referred to Klal Yisrael itself, Rachmana litzlan, could die. They said further, call aminavel pith. Someone talks inappropriately, ma'amikim lo Ganim. It's not enough he goes to Ganim. They make Ganim deeper and deeper for him, says the pasuk from the pasuk in Mishlei. Hakol yodim kala menichzez l'chuppah. Everyone knows what a kala, what's going on the first night of the wedding, but teaches us the Gemara. You're saying something that everyone knows. You're saying something which is obvious. But to talk about such an act of the husband and wife being together, it's called nevala, disgust. And you say, you could have 70 years. Let's just listen to these words. 70 years of goodness decreed for you. By talking dirty with your mouth, it turns it all to evil. And they said further in Gemara Chagiga, even the simple talk to man and wife, they tell it to him at the time of judgment. Regarding to listening, they said similarly, all these makairais were about talking. What about hearing? Even one who listens and is quiet, the scorn of Hashem will fall there. What do we see? All the chushim, not just the touch, not just the sight, not just the mouth, but all the ears, each and every one, a new level, how careful it has to be to stay away from zinus. Continues in the Mesilas Yesharim. Someone's going to come and tell you, and whenever the Mesilas Yesharim teaches us these lines, this is what people say. Someone's going to come and tell you, Shema Amru on Nivel Peh. That which the Chachamim said about Nivel Peh, about talking that nicely, it's not true. It's an exaggeration. The Chachamim just wanted you to stay away. And it's a hot-headed person says such. Whose desire comes aroused when he talks about such thing. It doesn't mean every person. It means to stay far away. It means if you talk this way, it's going to make you want to act such a way. But that little Yitzhar on our shoulder tells us what? Just to make an inappropriate joke. Just to joke around. You don't have to be worried about it. You answer him. These are the words of the Yitzhahara. The Gemara taught us explicitly over the young man, they're not going to rejoice. Why not? Because they spoke nevala. This pasuk in Yeshaya is not written about the three cardinal sins. Ella. Chanufa, Lashon Hara, and Nivel Peh. What's causing these young men to be hated? Nivel Peh, talking filth. Kula mechatos apeh dibur. These are all the sins of the mouth. V'aleim yotza gzira, and this is where the gzira came out. Shem's not going to rejoice over the young man. V'sisum es almanos l'yirachim. You're not going to have mercy on the yisayim and almanos. Elo emes who kedivri rabbis in zechon levracha. What the emes is that which Chazal have taught us. She'anivo be'er v'asay shel adibur mamish. There's one way to be involved in erva, in a physical, intimate act, and there's another way with the mouth. And it's an Isser, what level of Avira? He's talking filth, Zinos Mamish. K'chol Shar Inyani has this, like all other types of immorality. Chos Mekuvish Al Ma'isa, aside for the actual act of cohabitation, of course that's the highest, but everything else is the same. Shavu B'Shein B'Hem Kares, it means there's no Kares, Bezin can kill you for this. Asura Meim Isser Atzman, they're Aser, as the Avera itself, Milvana Yosem Gankin Carbon Ravina Lisser or Shiatzvam. And aside from the fact, points out in Mesilas Yesharim, it brings one to do the terrible Avera, but it itself is Aser. Like the Nazir that we spoke above, that having one little dot brings him to the Isser itself, and it itself is Aser. Finally concludes the Ramchal for today, Bini Machshava. What about thought? What about having inappropriate thoughts? We learned at the beginning the Braisa because ben Yair. You should watch yourself for anything evil. Shouldn't have thoughts at night and bring one to be impure by day. You should have thoughts by day and bring impurity at night. And it says in Yuma, the thoughts of the Avira at some level are worse than the Avera itself. Mikramaliu, and it's an explicit pasuk that says, the thoughts are toeva. So we're seeing how far this Parsha V'Arayis goes. Yesterday we spoke about the touch, then the sight. Now today we spoke about the listening and the talking. And finally the machshava, how we have to keep each and every one of our faculties perfectly clean and nucky. And we'll pick up from here in the next year.